Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life. They'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless. They don't wanna see me care. Anytime I make some progress, I can see that they compare. I think everyone's against me, maybe something in the air. Am I paranoid? I swear a void is forming and they're scared. I walk a straight path, not many can say that. I like to play fast, cross me and there's payback. You better pray that I don't see your face at any place that I go. I know you hate that. I've been doing fine, I'm not wasting any more time. I live for the fight and the climb, and I think that the pain that's deep inside is what defines. So I won't give up, I'm gonna make it to the top. I don't care what's in my way, I swear I'm never gonna stop. I could fall flat on my face and I swear I will get back up, cause I don't deserve a thing and the road ahead is tough. They'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Friday night. It's John and Ben, freshly back from their continental trip. Well, one of them. The other one has been working like a therapist. and sweating profusely. Anyway, enjoy this Friday night because it's all in!
Welcome to my party, we're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare scarring. Hand me a drink cause I think I'm going all in. Get me a shrink who can catch me when I'm falling. Cover up my scars, flip the handlebars. Crashing in my car, wake up in a bar. I'll be a superstar, just on my avatar. This world is so bizarre, empty out the reservoir. Yeah, I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? Sometimes you need to let loose, grab juice, get goose, tattoos, taboos, get screwed. Loosen up, buttercup, all those hate comments will never make you feel enough. We're all adequate graduates, heart full of calluses, but we know calculus. Damn, ain't that fabulous? Can't wait to apply all those mathematicus. But we can't get a job that pays us enough. I'm about to pop off. Fuck you, you're lost. We all know that we never really want a boss. So I'ma do what I want to. Something I can't undo. Yeah, I'ma do what I want to. Something I can't undo. I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me?
Well,
Good evening, John.
good evening, Ben.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm just adjusting my limited repertoire of equipment
Yes, you are. You are currently
in transition.
sans full equipment because you are in the actual transition between the two studios, aren't you,
I'm
John?
in transition between phases.
Yes.
I
Phase
am-
one.
I am metamorphosing between caterpillar and butterfly.
Well, I don't know
between-
about that.
Between
You're
cygnet
already.
and swan.
I was going to say you're already a butterfly. You already saw, John. You saw.
Thank you, Ben. You're such
So
a
Dreadeye and
lovely
Julie C.
guy.
So Dreadeye says, "Hi all. Ben is chuffed with the Ben Juju's chuffed with the 1-on-1 to your page subscription. That's right. If you follow me on Twitter, you can now subscribe to me personally for subscriber-only content at $3 a month. And Julie has become my first subscriber, so I want to thank you. I genuinely appreciate it. But if you do follow me on Twitter and you want to get some subscriber-only stuff, then that is the way to do it." What?
You can't say my flags,
John,
Ben.
that's a bit. I mean, they look good as well.
And now they look tremendous.
Put yourself full screen a minute. Let's see if we can see them then.
Just a minute. Let me see if I can let's do a little adjustment on the fly.
Yeah.
Not that we
There's-
should, but
Not that we should, but you know what this show's like. There's always a technical difficulty of some kind.
let's see.
It's nice to see people in the chat here. DW, Dreadeye, Adam, I saw Vaughan there. And I'll talk a bit more about something that I am doing tomorrow, but I'm not going to tell you what, but Vaughan is involved. Are you humming to yourself whilst you're doing
No, I
it,
went,
John?
oh. I'm getting
Oh,
smaller.
oh.
I'm getting smaller.
Oh.
I'm getting smaller, but they're coming in.
Julie C says, come on, guys, get subscribing for Ben. Do what Julie says.
Hey,
Do what Julie says. She has a mallet.
pretty soon it'll be me as well.
Yep.
I've put my application in as well now because I've over 500 followers again.
2 boys, 1 hat. This is not a porn thing. This is not a fetish
There.
thing,
How's
Trudy.
that? I know I'm a bit smaller.
Ah, there you go. Look, you've got a little bit at the top of the frame in there, but otherwise it looks good.
Yeah,
It does.
I'm gonna chop that off. I'll chop that.
Yeah, go on, move yourself up a bit. Then you go. You got your flags there.
Yeah, how's that?
Yep, you're British and United States. Yes, indeed, it is a secret project to finally take down Adam. But I will say this: be here tomorrow around midday. That's all I'll say on that matter. Be here on this channel tomorrow around midday for a special broadcast with me and the Cockney, Mr. Vaughan. It's going to be good. It's going to be interesting.
Boys. You got this.
We got this, boys. We got this. And it's not Fortnite. It's not Fortnite. I can't tell you what it is. But what I can tell you is it's going to be fun. And it's going to be different.
Oh, my YouTube was on 1080p full HD.
Let me have a look at mine. Let me see what he's giving me. Oh, it says HD. Yeah, 1080p 60.
Yeah, it's on full HD. We're right there. Right there.
Oh,
Marker.
wow. So I've had a bit of a week, obviously. I've been away. I was not able to observe anything in France because on Monday and Tuesday, the French army were outside the Marne-la-Vallée RER station, stopping people going in. We don't know why. They were just like, no, you cannot go down there. The RER, by the way, being the underground, the equivalent to the underground in France. So what I did manage to capture, and I will put out on this channel at some point, is it was a nice VE Day celebration in the middle of a little town called Ceres, and there were a bunch of old school American World War II vehicles. There were some bagpipers. There was a speech by the mayor. So I did manage to get that. And
Lovely.
so I'll make that its own.
Right.
It was nice. It was lovely.
First order of business for the troll room. How's the audio? Can you hear us? And do we sound equal? Do we?
Well, nobody said anything otherwise.
No,
Usually
but
they go, oi!
Yeah, but you know what they're like? They just sit there and say nothing for ages. What are you drinking?
A drink.
Ben's a touch louder.
Oh!
Yeah,
Spencer says I can hear you fine.
yeah, I thought he was.
There you go.
Tweak him down a little bit. How does he sound
There you
now?
go.
Ben, talk to us now.
How do I sound now whilst holding up my Monster Energy can?
Oh, yeah, that's the 666 in Hebrew.
I don't care. I'm not going to lie to you. I just don't care. And I think that's going to be my attitude when it comes to a lot of tonight's stories, because I've come to a bit of a revelation tonight, John.
I like that, Spencer.
I've come to a bit of a realization.
What's that, Ben?
We really do, and it doesn't matter what side of a divide you're on, be it, left, right, freedom, tyranny, whatever. We live on a diet of fear, and it is just exhausting. We must be afraid of this. We must be afraid of that.
No,
and
some
you go,
of us do. Some of us just laugh at it. Some of us laugh in the face of adversity.
Yeah, but the point that I'm making here is it's not just from what we would call the government propagandists in the mainstream media. When somebody's being telling you to be afraid of a Schwab, or someone's telling you to be afraid of a Gates or something like that, it is just repackaged fear. And then people fall for that fear. So you'll reject that fear over there, but you'll fall for this fear over here. Be afraid of this, be afraid of that. And it's just exhausting. And I've just reached this point of, do you know what? And I said it in a tweet earlier. I am not going to be afraid of your pantomime villains. You tell me to be afraid of the WEF. I'm not. I don't care. You tell me to be afraid of Bill Gates. I'm not. I don't care. I don't know these people. These people they don't know me. And how the hell can they affect my life unless I let them?
Yeah, well, that's true. And how can anyone be afraid of AI? Because that doesn't exist.
No, it doesn't exist. And do you know what?
There is no AI.
The people that tell you that you think you like, and I'm not criticizing anybody, I'm just pointing something out. The people that you think you like that told you not to be afraid of that thing are more than likely feeding you a diet of fear to be afraid of from their side.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's just more of the same, no matter where you go, no matter what you do. And this is why I didn't join a group.
But Ben, it's always been like that. I mean, that right. Let's go back to basics, Ben. Let's step back to basics. What's the two aims of government?
Feather their own nest and control the population.
Right. So the critical one we're going to look at first is control the population. And how best to control a population, Ben? Keep them afraid, right? Keep them afraid and feed them. So if you keep them afraid, you keep them in their place, and you keep them fed, and you keep them in their nest. And that's how you control a population.
And then you chuck in a big dollop of confusion in there to keep everybody guessing.
Part of the afraid. I mean, well, if you think back, governments have done nothing. But I mean, let's just go back to the Second World War, right? After the Second World War finished, we should have been rejoicing. We did for all of 5 minutes, and then we were straight into what? We were straight into food rationing because we didn't have anything. We were straight back into rebuilding things because we didn't have anything. We were frightened of the Russians in the guise of the Soviet Union because of the Cold
Red
War.
Scare.
The Red Skis, yeah. We were frightened of the Russians putting a rocket in space before the Americans because they could bomb us from space, you know. Then we were frightened of atomic bombs and nuclear war. And then we were frightened of the domino effect, and that's why America went into Vietnam and we ended up with all the people dying over there. And we're frightened of the Chinese because they were
frightened of the Taliban.
We're frightened of Stalin. We're frightened of drugs. We're frightened of terrorism. We're frightened of peak oil. We're frightened of the next ice age.
We're frightened of video games.
We're frightened of we're frightened of everything. We're frightened of heart attacks because we're frightened of salt, which has since been disproven.
A lot of salt tonight.
Yeah. We're frightened of fat, which has since been disproven. So these were all facts and would have been fact-checked and said fact-check true, and then they've all been found to be false. So you're continually in a state of fear. And that's how the government keep you in control. And if they can't keep you in control because you're not frightened, then you're a very dangerous man or woman.
I agree because, and especially if you've got a platform, especially if you can just convey the ideas, I guess, that we're conveying, and I'm not calling us dangerous, but the idea that we convey to you, and we pepper it with a lot of entertainment, a lot of humor, but the idea we convey to you really is to don't believe anything you see, don't believe anything you hear, and even the crap that comes from us sometimes.
Yeah, well, especially the crap that comes from Adam, right? Let's call it out for what it is, because we are frightened of sugar, says Adam in the chat. Sugar is life. No, sugar is the one product you can live quite happily without.
Yeah, but
you do not need carbohydrates. It's the one food group that your body can make sufficient in itself if it has proper amounts of protein and fat. You do not need carbohydrates.
I mean, I think
you might like them. You might like them. You might love them in your drinks. But that's not the same as need.
No, I agree. I agree. But I think this can segue quite nicely into something that we've seen people screaming bloody murder about all day on Twitter. And what is that, John?
I don't know. I haven't been on Twitter today, mate.
The new CEO.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, well, I mean, okay. What's the big deal? I mean, who's he going to pick, right? He's going to pick someone. What's the chances of them not being involved with the WEF at some point in their life? Elon Musk was involved with the WEF, was he not? Putin was involved with WEF at one point, was he not? I mean, I don't think Putin actually attended much in the way of going to Davos, but he was involved. I don't think Elon did.
I think he turned up on some videos.
Yeah, so he was involved with them briefly, right? So they've all been involved to some degree. So, I mean, really, what does it matter? Because what is it we always say, Ben? There's no heroes. There's no saviors.
Nope.
No one's coming to save you, and you're on your own. And you know, it might sound a bit depressing when you say it like that, but that's how it is, people. You're on your own. You've got to go out there and find the people that will help you, should it hit the fan.
He's absolutely right, as I always say, because he generally is, as far as I'm concerned. But when he's wrong, I will call him out, as he knows. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, Trudy says in the chat, right, I've never taken interest in Musk, so I couldn't care less. And you know what? I couldn't care less. I could not care less who the CEO of the platform is, as long as I am able to tweet. And I'm not going to sit here and say, oh my God, we're all going to get banned. We're all going to get censored. It's going to go back to the way it was. Because at the end of the day, we don't know. Nobody knows. Now, am I saying that, you know, you shouldn't be wary? No. What I'm saying is, instead of sitting there being afraid and sounding off and sounding the alarm, why not take some proactive steps to mitigate such a possibility, such as setting yourself up on alternative platforms or you know, making sure you have a backup plan if you want to continue to use a social media or talk to an audience. Instead of sitting there screaming blue and bloody murder about something that hasn't yet come to pass, because the woman doesn't even take quote unquote control for 6 weeks, and she's not really in control anyway, because he's still going to sit in the executive chair.
Well,
instead,
you pointed out that she follows all the right people, though, and she has.
Well, she follows
for a while.
She follows all what many people I would consider the right people. I mean, she follows the libs of TikToks of the world and the Jack Posobics and all of these quote unquote right wing pundits. She agrees with them. She likes their tweets. Now, I'm not saying that she is one of them. And you know what I kept seeing earlier on? She's a white hat in disguise. What the hell is that? What the hell? Isn't that something to do with fucking Q? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, but, sorry for swearing.
Yeah, but this is back.
The Q LARP.
Yeah, but this is back to. That's back to. There are no saviors. There's no heroes. No one's coming to save you. You're clutching at straws when you think of these things, and when you think that there's people out there working towards an end that's going to reveal all, and people will be held to account and put on trial. And it's all a nonsense, people. It is a complete and utter nonsense. Nobody's been secretly arrested by military courts and replaced by clones. I mean, really, come on. Come on. Just sit back and think about it. I mean, I entertain many, many fanciful things. Do I not, Ben? Do I not? But by God, you're really stretching the imagination if you think there's a secret cabal out there who are replacing people with clones. I mean, this is the stuff of movies, science fiction movies, and the clue there is in fiction. I'm waiting for the
Spencer's-
Leningrad trials, V2 says Adam. Yeah, and you'll have a long wait. Same as Nuremberg. You'll have a long wait because nobody's getting held to account and nobody's getting pulled up for it. I mean, when you get Tony Blair, who is a proven liar who took us
And a
into
war
an
criminal.
illegal war and killed millions of people, right? And nobody gets held to account for it. Why would you think anyone's going to be held to account for anything else? I mean, really?
They close ranks. They protect one another. This is the political class, right? Because if you want to talk about us and them, if you really want to do that, then the real divisions in this world are by class. They're not by race. They're not by sex. They're not by any of this. They're not by who you sleep with or who you pray to. It always comes down to class. It's those that have appointed themselves the elite because they have more money than you versus you. And they don't like you and you don't like them.
Yeah.
Right?
And you're right, Ben. It's all about money. That's it. I mean, Bill Gates is a nerdy, possibly autistic, geek, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who doesn't really have social skills worth talking about. I mean, the guy has... effectively he would do well in a Borg hive ship or whatever, he really would.
I bet he's a monster in the bedroom though.
but he's
It's always the quiet one, John.
but the thing is, he wouldn't he would be nothing if he hadn't made a fortune. I mean, he'd be absolutely
exactly.
nothing.
He would
wouldn't
just be
even
the
be
guy
doing
that
this because he probably doesn't have the. Well, have you heard him speak? He doesn't have the social skills and the ability to carry a conversation. It's all scripted.
I don't know. I don't know, but I kind of sound like Kermit the Frog. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you exactly what you should do medically, despite the fact that I have no medical degree.
Yeah. You need to work on that accent. You sound more like a
I know.
kind of Bouchy there. But anyway, it's just these people are useless. They are complete and utterly useless. I mean, look, have you seen Hamza? I mean, I've listened to quite a lot of his speeches and things. Have you seen Hamza speak? And I don't mean in my guise with my voiceovers, but have you actually seen him speak? Because he's awful. The guy doesn't have a clue. And this man is supposed to be governing Scotland. He's not fit to govern a kindergarten. I mean, really, a stranger should come up with that, because what did he do with that nursery? He tried to sue them, didn't he? But anyway.
He did.
But anyway, the man's not fit. He's not fit to govern a group of garden gnomes. He's so poor.
Nope. Yeah, correct. But then again, look at Rishi Sunak. Look at Rishi Sunak, the Prime Minister, the installed, unelected Prime Minister who got his way even though he lost the party election to be Prime Minister. He just enacted a coup and got his way anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not fit to run the country.
No,
he's not fit.
Guys. What? Does Sunak think he's auditioning for YouTube? Because see, when you see him doing these stupid kind of government adverts, I mean, he's just terrible. He's absolutely terrible. He's so animated and so incoherent that you've no idea what he's going on about with the big pop eyes and things. What's he trying to do? Who's he trying to be? And because he looks more and more like Roland Rat every day.
Look, John, we're going to get Brexit over the line, despite the fact it was done years ago.
No,
we're going to do it.
He's not Michael Caine, right? He's not Michael Caine.
I know.
So stop talking like Michael Caine.
Okay, John. I will stop talking like Michael Caine, and I will start talking like.
You used to be good.
I know.
You're losing your edge.
Look, it's been a week. I'm rusty. Rusty.
Yeah, but see, in the last chat from last week, someone said, "Don't ever let Ben sing again." I know. Someone in a comment on one of our shows from last week said, "Don't ever let Ben sing again." I know, that's bust your bubble. I'm sorry, mate. Right, aliens. We've covered the aliens, right? It's quite simple, people. All the alien sightings, it's a way, heart. all the alien sightings happen in military experimentation areas. So what's the point? See, all those tic-tac videos are in military, zoned off aircraft experimentation areas, not free for anyone to fly into because this is a military experiment area. So there are no aliens. It's the US military or Russian military or whatever, or Cuban military. It's military, right? Because the military's 20 to 40 years ahead of where we are civilian-wise. And they'll not show you it.
Absolutely they are. Come on. Absolutely they are. They've probably had flying saucers for 50 years.
No, Adam. Adam, you will not do the impressions.
He'll just come on and go, I'm in your basement, John.
Yeah, Adam, just for people's information, Adam's a really nice guy. I've met Adam.
Really nice guy.
He's a really nice guy, right? And I know he gets a hard time here. But see, when he starts doing impressions, he's so freaking creepy.
Yep.
He makes my skin crawl. Is that
Every
bad?
single one of them seems to devolve into pervert in the basement.
Yeah, definitely. It's not fit for YouTube. In fact,
He made an advert.
I don't think it's fit for. It's not fit for anything.
He made an advert which we demanded he never put out.
Oh God!
And it was like a child voice. It was, "Hello, I'm in the basement.
It was
they
awful.
let me watch Chasing Dissent."
God,
And I was like, "What are you doing?"
It's the kind of advert that would get you banned on the spot.
Yeah. But I'm in the basement. They kicked me down here, but they let me watch Chasing Dissent. I was like, "What are you doing?"
No, Adam, you can't put that out, mate.
Oh, hi there, Dolphino Gaming. That's another man, also named Ben. So everybody say hi.
Dolphino
Yeah.
Gaming. Hello. I don't think we've seen you before.
He is a follower from TikTok and
Hello. Welcome.
hello, welcome. That's
Welcome
John.
to a grown-up channel.
Yeah. Welcome to yeah. Everybody make him feel welcome. Say hello. Make him feel welcome. Bring
He's
him
got to be
in.
Welcome. Everyone's welcome.
Caress
in the troll
him.
room.
Everybody is indeed welcome in the troll room. Anyway, John.
Ben.
I do have a question that I want to leave this little segment on, and it's for people to think about, and I want them to think about it realistically
Hold on.
before they.
Is this possibly a troll poll?
No, because I want detailed answers.
All right. Okay.
I want to know, and I asked this to I was on a guy called Luke's TikTok earlier on, and I asked this to him, and I asked him not to answer yet because I really want people to think about it. Freedom. The word freedom. What does it mean to you? It's a philosophical question, and I want to know what it means to each individual person because it's an interesting thing. Where are people's lines? What do they believe? And could we ever come to any kind of consensus as to what we agree it means? I'm not so sure, and that's what I want to know.
That's a good question, Ben. And to put it not in perspective, but to kind of give you a kind of analogy, perhaps. I was talking to someone today who's a vegetarian. Right.
I hope you gave them the correct amount of hazing.
Well, yeah.
Of course,
because
yeah.
they were a member. But I was talking to someone who's a vegetarian, and I thought, where is your line, right? Because don't eat meat, want to eat anything with a face, right? And I thought, okay, but you eat eggs, yeah, they'll eat eggs, right? And then I
They're
thought,
not technically meat.
will you walk across grass, right? Because
we're getting really philosophical here.
No, but if you walk across grass, how many insects and small beasts are you going to kill?
Mm.
Do you drive a car? How many insects and birds and things do you kill? Right?
Mm.
So people are killing animals all the time. Now, where's your line? Just because it's a tiny animal, does that make it okay? And where does the line then become? Is a spider's okay to kill, or is it got to be an ant
they're
or
okay.
lower? Or,
Yeah, they're okay.
Yeah, or what happens if it's a cockroach? Can you kill a cockroach? And then
Absolutely.
yeah, then how where's your line? Where is your line when it comes to killing animals?
It's a good philosophical question, but I'll leave people. Vaughn's answer quite quickly. He says, simple, to do what I want, when I want, as long as it harms nobody else. Define harm. Oh, we can really go deep on this one.
Yeah.
That's why I want to know where the line is. I mean, do you mean emotional harm? Do you mean physical harm? People
Well,
define those.
Define emotional harm. If I call you a fat twat, is that are you harmed by that, or are you just offended? Is offended being harmed?
Well, actually, I would say neither because it's accurate.
Yes, I know that, and you know I can call you that because I too am one, right?
Yes.
But the thing is, if I called someone else that, they'd probably be offended, even if they were, right? But are they harmed? Or are they given food for thought? And this is the part I don't understand these days, because if you can't give someone food for thought, then, and I remember this, like a few years ago when you were told to stop criticizing kids and only give them encouragement. And it seems to me that since people have started doing that, kids have become insufferable.
Well,
Because
participation
they seem
awards,
to be
mate.
so entitled.
Participation awards.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you know what? If you're going to be in a race and you don't win, what's the point of being in the race if you don't think you can win it?
Well, exactly. Surely.
I mean, I don't.
People are
I wouldn't
entering
race if I
races
didn't
for
think I could win
competition.
it. I wouldn't.
But sure,
I mean, I wouldn't
the
enter
idea of competition is to win,
Yeah.
or at least to do really well. And if you're entering a competition, if you're not even gonna try, then why even enter something that's meant to be competitive?
And actually, this leads us on to a game environment called Fortnite, right? And it's like, why play it if you don't want to win?
Well, I do want to win.
See, you do want to win.
Of course I want to win.
You tell me
Everybody
you
wants to
enjoy
win.
playing it, and it doesn't matter
I do
if you
enjoy
win or not,
it.
but you do want to win. You really secretly want to win.
John, both
And I get
positions are
annoyed
true.
when people start mucking around because I'm there to win. If I don't win, I'm not happy.
No, but both positions are true. Whilst I obviously do want to win,
come
I
on,
do enjoy playing it with my friends.
Hold on a minute, Spencer.
We're
Right?
30 minutes into the show.
We don't talk about it that much, do we?
30
Ben?
minutes into the show.
How
No.
often do we talk about Fortnite? We haven't even played Fortnite for 10 days, have we?
No.
You've been playing without me, haven't you?
Vaughan invited me for a game at 5:30.
Oh, but it didn't invite me.
I thought you was working.
Yeah, well, I wasn't. I was having my dinner.
Well, there you go. You was having your dinner.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
you just don't want me anymore.
but I won't be playing tonight after the show because of tomorrow's special show. I need to actually try and sleep.
He needs his beauty sleep.
I do. Look at me, right? Even though I've had a bath.
Although I'm going to try and make a Hamza over the weekend because I've got new footage.
We did have to discuss the secret project, so it was best killing two birds with one stone.
Okay. Yeah, I know about the secret. The secret project's not secret to me, but I know about it.
No. But we had to discuss the secret project.
Ben cheating on John. Ben cheats on me all the time.
Oh, I just went to France without him.
So tell me, how was your trip to France? Speaking of France, so the continent as it were, how was it? Did you see any disruption in your multiple train journeys across this fair land and then into the land of the frog?
Surprisingly, no. I did not see any disruption. However, I almost caused some disruption.
Oh yeah, because your ramps weren't ready.
Yeah, so SNCF, the French TGV operator, that's the high-speed trains, were well aware that I was supposed to have transfers and ramps
And
booked to get, and they,
normally they're pretty
what's that?
efficient, aren't they?
Oh, well, we booked the wheelchair space
Yeah. And
through Eurostar.
and somebody else was in it.
No, it's not that. It's that SNCF had gone, a wheelchair space? Will he need help getting up?
Yeah.
Oh my God. But then, and I will mention no names, I was finally on the Eurostar and I saw a friend get arrested on TikTok Live whilst I was sitting on the Eurostar. So that's been interesting.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's not been cool. It's been a situation, and I won't go any deeper into that.
I tell you what, while we're on the subject of trains, right?
Mm.
Did you know you can get a train from Portugal to Vietnam?
I did not know that.
17,000 kilometres. That's a hell of a train ride. I'd like to take that. I'd like to take that train ride.
Imagine live streaming that.
Oh, man. You need a sleeper, obviously, but that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like trains. I do like trains.
You know what? I like travelling. I just love travelling. I love getting out and about.
I prefer
going
trains
places.
to planes. Trains good, planes bad.
See, I disagree. I'm the other way round. I love flying. Love flying.
I like flying if one can go either business or upper class or something like that. But cattle class, no. Fucking horrible.
I'm not going to name any names in the chat there. I'm not going to name any names.
Dun, 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 dun.
But
who's the Whiff 12? That's a new name.
what have you just opened?
Can
Can of what?
Well, it's not Prime, okay? Because you've got to be careful if you drink Prime because you can have cardiac arrest, especially if you're a young child.
Let's talk about that for a minute, shall we?
That was a good segue, wasn't it?
Because, and the reason I want to talk about that is because I think the headlines on that situation, but first of all, let's start with the headlines and then we'll go into the actual situation.
Yeah.
But I think the headlines are quite misleading. And the reason I think they're quite misleading is because they just say, you know, young child who consumed Prime has gone into cardiac arrest. That's not strictly speaking true because there are two Prime drinks. There is Prime, which is the one made predominantly of coconut water and has no energy sort of thing on it. And then there's Prime Energy, which is a separate drink in separate packaging. It comes in cans, not bottles. And that's what the kid consumed. But they're saying just, oh, Prime.
They shouldn't be drinking energy drinks at all, should they?
No,
Really?
but Prime itself, the regular version, is not an energy drink.
Yeah, okay.
But when you read the headlines, you assume that this kid has drunk the coconut water one. You know, the one that everyone goes mental over.
Yeah, that's because what would you call it? Sensationalism sells, you know, clicks and papers and things.
Well, it's like I saw a video from, and we'll go back to the Prime story in just a second. But I saw a new video from Tucker Carlson announcing that he's going to be doing his show on Twitter. And during that video, he announced, well, he said a few things about how the media mislead you. And this was a prime, no pun intended, example of that. This was a prime example of what he was saying. He was saying that they'll tell you half-truths. They'll tell you half-truths in order to mislead. And like you're saying, it's sensationalism. Julie says in the chat, I saw parents giving nursery kids Red Bull. So anyway, the story goes that a primary school gave out a notice to parents because one of the children in the primary school went into cardiac arrest because that kid in the primary school was drinking Prime Energy. Now, there's only two people, possibly one person, depending on the household situation, to blame for what happened here. And it's not Prime, it's the parents.
Yeah.
And
why
I say that...
Why Why are you giving your primary school kids energy drinks?
And, well, it says don't drink more than 2
God.
cans a day on the can, too. I mean, I'm on my 3rd can of Monster.
Julie C
but
says she saw parents giving nursery kids Red Bull.
I
Why?
know for a fact that there's a child who is age 9 in my son's school whose parents have signed a consent form and send him in with a can of this every day. He's 9 years old.
Why? Why did they
Because
do that?
because the parents say he doesn't sleep and therefore he needs it to get through the day.
Have you considered he doesn't sleep because he's jacked up on sugar
Yes.
and caffeine and taurine and whatever
Yes.
else is in there?
Yes, Spencer.
Yeah.
He is, by the way. Yes, he is. Constantly getting in trouble. But there's a reason. There's no actual legality on selling these. So a lot of supermarkets have now said that they will not sell them to under 16s. Although you can, right?
Uh-huh.
But a lot of supermarkets won't do it. And like, for example, today when I went and bought this Monster, they had to come along to the self-checkout to make sure I was 16 and then approve it. But Prime Energy's website itself...
CID, sir.
I wish.
I get carded when I was on my 21st.
Ooh.
In half uniform. Because we
Prime
just
Energy
finished a back
itself,
shift.
it says on their website to not consume if you're under 18. They actually suggest this. Do not consume this drink if you're under 18.
Yeah.
And like I said, most supermarkets won't sell to an under 16. And you know a primary age child is not going and buying this themselves.
No.
This is on the parents.
It
I'm sorry.
You're right, mate. It definitely is. And parents do a lot of bad things for their kids, don't they?
Oh, yeah. And I mean, I'm not saying I'm a perfect parent. I'm not saying I'm a perfect parent at all.
Nobody is.
Nobody is. There's no manual. People who go and get parenting books, those books are useless. They're meaningless. Because at the end of the day, each one of you, each child, each adult, each one of you is an individual.
Yeah.
And you're going to react individually to different things. And this is why I sort of segue out and say that individualism is so important. Individualism over collectivism. Because, I mean, if we look at the last.
That's a good point you're making there, Ben. Individualism is important over collectivism, but it seems to be that we're doing away with individualism because you're not allowed to think independently.
Yes. Yes, and it's extremely concerning because the rights of the individual must always come above the rights of the group. That's why we have individual rights. That's why we're supposed to have individual rights. And then when you start trampling, I'm not going to mention any specific examples, but let's say over the last 3 years, when you start trampling individual rights to satisfy a baying group, you've reached tyranny. You've reached tyranny and you've just walked into it. And those last 3 years have told me that the public are willing to sleepwalk into tyranny if it means that they feel quote unquote safe. And that means stamping out individuality, people having individual freedom, having individual choice, having individual rights. And this is what freedom means to me. Freedom means the right to be myself. Freedom means the right to make my own decisions. Freedom means the right to go against the grain. Freedom means the right to ask questions and not be chastised for it. I'm not going to fall down. Well, I might end up falling down some rabbit holes. You never know. But I think I'm kind of screwed on and switched on enough to know when something is probably pulling my leg. It's like that thing you commented on earlier, John, that George Monbiot thing on Twitter that was very clearly a fake tweet. I saw it immediately and I went, that's not real.
Yeah. Yeah, but the thing is, the thing that got me was that, what's his name? Who was the dude?
Brent Lee.
Yeah, he seemed to be tweeting that as if it was real.
No, what he was.
So the point is, The point is, and the point I made in a later tweet was, if you have to explain your tweet has failed, right? So if
No,
your tweet is
I
ambiguous,
get what you're saying.
if your tweet's ambiguous, then it's a failed tweet.
No, I get what you're saying, absolutely. But I tell you how I read that tweet. I read that
No, I
tweet.
know how you read it. I know how you read it, and that's fine.
But
I
other people read it differently.
And the thing is, if we
Yeah.
both read the same thing completely differently, right, then it's a failed tweet.
Yeah,
That's
but then
my
again,
point.
that can be compounded and you know, taken right up to the idea of reality, because let's face it, we all see the same things, but we interpret them differently.
Well,
We
yeah,
see-
well, you're right. And I made a similar tweet. I actually made a tweet that was so off the wall that no one should have believed it,
Mm,
right? And yet people did.
your TIE fighter.
No, well, that was one of them. I made one yesterday.
Okay.
Because someone said something about, excess death rates. And I said, New Zealand's running at 3,000%. Explain that. And they thought I meant it. Because they'd made an outrageous claim. So I made a more outrageous claim, right?
Mm.
And they thought I meant it. And there were stacks of people replying to it. So I had to put another tweet on saying, hold on, I thought this was an outrageous claim thread. And I just tried to make a big as outrageous claim as I could.
Yeah.
Because people, this is the problem with people. They take everything either literally or completely at face value, because they won't do what, Ben? They will not research it for themselves.
It's not just that they won't research it for themselves. It's that once you've so let me talk about cults for a minute, right? And this will become clear why. Because I think a lot more people are in cults than know that they're in cults. Because people start painting, especially with the advent of social media, they start painting themselves into a group. And then when you get the quote unquote self-appointed leaders of those groups, let's say the John Bows of the world, they start, if something comes out, they believe everything they say and share it as if it's gospel.
Or like a Robert Malone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. Or even like a what's his name, Patrick Vallance, or an Anthony Fauci,
Or a Donald Trump.
basically, if you decide that's my guy or that's my girl, and they start saying things, even if those things are like prime example, Stu Peters, even if those things are just completely outrageous, even if those things are easily debunkable,
Yeah.
they will just absolutely fall in line and share it as if it's fact, and then they'll go on the attack against anyone who goes, wait a minute, what? And it's just cult-like behavior, and I think people are falling down into these and painting themselves into these boxes more and more and more and more. And I can only surmise that it's by design.
I don't know. Is it when you say by design, what do you mean?
Because the idea of divide and conquer means that a population is easily controlled. And let's face it, more and more and more issues keep coming up and up and up to divide people and make them vicious against one another. Vicious.
Yeah, well, yes. It's difficult. It's difficult because I did a little bit of digging. Well, I did a little bit of listening and digging into the flat Earth people, right? And remember, I came up with that experiment that they thought they had. That thought experiment.
Let me hold you right there. Let me hold you right there, because it's been over a year since we've invited any flat earther to come on this show, and nobody's taken us up on it.
None of them have come.
Carry on.
I have invited at least 3 or 4 flat earthers to come on the show. None of them even responded to me, right?
No.
Now, they have this thought experiment where they say, well, what they say is you can't hold an atmosphere on a planet, right?
Yeah.
because it's open to an incredible amount of vacuum, i.e. there's nothing basically in space, so the atmosphere should just rush off into space. Okay? And they say you can test this by putting like air in a box in a vacuum chamber, right?
Okay.
And when you open the vacuum chamber, it expands into the whole vacuum and fills it. And while that's correct, that would happen, right? They're not thinking their experiment through, because what you need to do is you need a vacuum changer that reaches from the ground all the way up into space.
Yeah, but not only that, you need to add on certain...
And then when you open your box in the bottom of the vacuum chamber, and the top of your opening is open to space, it will not leap out into space, because the weight of all the air and everything and the gravity will hold it in the container. Exactly like it does with the Earth. Their complete experiment is flawed, and they cannot see this.
Yeah, but there's also other factors, like the centrifugal force creating the gravity, or at least...
Whoa, hold on a minute.
Not creating the gravity.
Force does not create gravity.
No, sorry. But there are also... Let me start again.
I can't change the laws of physics.
But the thing is, there are so many other factors that you need to incorporate into that, including centrifugal force, you don't
need to include that at all. You don't need to. There's no need to include that, right? Because the thought experiment is that when you open the box, the air will expand in to fill the vacuum, or to dissipate in the vacuum, and that's not going to happen when you're sitting on a planet that has gravity.
No. But the thing is, there is, like you said, it's just such a flawed experiment. It's just if you could recreate the conditions exactly and then do the experiment, but they can't. There's no way they can.
No, because you can't build a... Well, you couldn't build... You're basically building a space elevator, and you couldn't do that because we don't have materials that would stand up to the stresses involved.
Well, exactly. So it's a flawed experiment from the word go.
But it's a thought experiment, and it's okay to have a thought experiment, but when you do a thought experiment, you've got to think it through. That's the problem.
Yeah. You got to think it through.
People are not thinking it through. And the thing is, when you point out to them there's a flawed experiment, and you try and explain to them that they're not thinking it through, they just go nuts.
I mean, they seem to think we're on a disc, don't they? They think we're on like a CD. We're on a disc, and there's a big ice wall wrapped around the edge of it. But my main question to any flat earther is why? Why would there be such a large... Because there must be so many people that know about this. And why would so many people that know about it... Because in order to keep something like that such a secret, you have to have a web of people safeguarding this, that, and the other, including the ice wall.
Yeah. Well, you kind of do. You do have that. Because you can't really go to Antarctica.
I mean, Mr. Beast did. In one of his latest videos.
Yeah. In an organised trip.
Yeah.
But if you try and sail a boat to Antarctica, you'll get turned back.
Yeah, perhaps, but...
No, there's no perhaps. You will. You cannot go to Antarctica.
But
unless you go on an organised trip. And you only get...
one of those people.
But you only get to go to the certain parts that they let you go to. You can't go and explore on your own.
Listen.
You can't get a helicopter and fly everywhere you want, or get a plane. Nobody flies over the South Pole.
Yeah, but tens of thousands...
Why?
But tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people would know about this, would know that we're really on a disc and we've really got a massive ice wall wrapped around us. And not one of them is going, yeah, okay, here's the evidence.
Maybe they are, and we just don't believe them. So, that's a whole different matter, isn't it? This is a rabbit hole that we're starting to go down here, and we don't really want to on this show.
No, no, yeah, and I think a special edition of Down the Rabbit Hole really deep diving into the idea of flat Earth is something that we
Well,
should
the
do.
next rabbit hole is Admiral Byrd.
So Antarctica.
Yeah, and his expedition to Antarctica, his expedition that turned back prematurely after it had only been there for like 2/3 of the time it should have been.
Okay, well, that's one I shall watch with great interest. But still, I don't believe them. I don't see why I would need the reason. I'd need the reason why we're told we're on a ball when we're not. Why? What reason would people have to tell the masses
I'm not
that?
saying we are on a flat Earth, but all I'm saying is you can't go to Antarctica. That's what I'm saying. Because you said, if you were on a flat Earth, you wouldn't be able to go and check out the ice wall, and you can't. You can't go there willy-nilly. You can only go there under strict controls.
Yeah, but Antarctica is one direction. There's one direction between here and Antarctica.
Oh, if it was a flat Earth, and I'm not saying it is, obviously, but if it was, Antarctica's all directions.
Yeah, but it's not.
We can't settle this, right? We can't settle this. So let's
right. It's time, John. It's time. We got to do it. We got to make the trek. We got to go.
We can't
in a straight line.
It costs a fortune to go to Antarctica.
I didn't say about going to Antarctica. I said we need to go in a straight line around the Earth. It doesn't go towards Antarctica, just to show that if you go from one point, you end up back in the same bloody point.
But how are you going to go in a straight line?
Dirigible, John! Dirigible!
But
it's time to fund a dirigible.
What are you going to navigate on to make sure you go in a straight line?
Google Earth, baby.
That's not going to work. That's just not going to work.
Or we just get a compass and we continually go true north.
You can't go true north on a compass because the compass goes to magnetic north. And that's moving to Siberia at the moment.
Okay, John.
I'm sorry, Ben.
He's smashing my dreams. I just want to fly around the world on a dirigible, and he's like,
I suppose
no, people
what
are going,
you could use is like a gyroscope, powered gyroscope.
Perhaps, yeah.
Powered gyroscope. Let's do it.
So Julie says, if we get enough bicarb of soda and vinegar, we can send our own rocket over South Pole. Mentos and Diet Coke, Julie. Mentos and Diet Coke will do it.
Bicarbonate soda and vinegar.
Yeah, that does create one.
Yeah.
Do you know what? There was once a man who basically did up in real life. He created a chair with a load of helium balloons attached to it, and he went flying.
How high
and
did he go?
Well, did
he have to get shot down?
I believe so. I believe so.
They just shoot out a couple of balloons until he starts to fall, and then stop
I
shooting.
assume so. I assume so.
Sounds very
either
dodgy.
that or he releases the balloons one by one so that he starts descending.
Yeah, sounds dodgy.
Does sound dodgy. Vaughn, bring some Diet Coke and Mentos to the project tomorrow.
No, don't. One, it'll be very, very messy. And
That's
two,
fine.
You'll probably get arrested.
The scooter's on charge. I do need the scooter on charge. So that is done. Anyhow, let's move on. What else have you got for us to chitty chatty?
For you, mate. I'm just. It's you. That's
we're just freewheeling tonight, are we?
What?
We're just freewheeling tonight, are we?
Freewheeling. Well,
I think
let's talk briefly about our thumbnail, right?
Okay.
So this missile that our defense minister has gifted to Ukraine to help in their effort. How's it going to help?
Well,
because
if what you told me earlier is true, it's not.
Yeah, if I might make a few points about it. One, it's only air launched, right? So you can't launch it from anything except a plane. but you can only launch it from a plane that's adapted and suitable for carrying it, right? Now, I'm reliably informed that MiG-29s cannot carry this thing, and to be adapted for it would be unlikely, because it's a MiG-29, which is a Russian plane. So
Yep.
let's forget the MiG-29. So what are they going to put it on? Because I don't think you can put it on an F-16, because I think an F-16 is too small. I may be wrong. I know you can put it on a Eurofighter Typhoon, right? But that cost
They're good fun,
120
them
million to build the interface for it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all very well to give someone missiles, but how are you going to fire them?
And all he's done is antagonise Rishi, Roland Rat.
See, this is the next problem, right? This is the next problem. That missile has a range of 350 miles.
Mm-hmm.
So who are you firing at that's 350 miles away?
Mm.
That then becomes a big issue.
Well, it does, and that's why I believe Putin has started threatening the UK.
Well, why wouldn't he?
Well, yeah. Why wouldn't he?
Putin!
And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. This is not our fight.
It's not.
This is not. It's not a fight I want my wife and children dragged into. It's not a fight I want my friends and family dragged into. It's not a fight I want any of you dragged into. It's not a fight I want Russians and Ukrainians in.
No. So I tweeted in response to the defense minister or Sunak or someone like that, and I said that I hope that Putin would actually see this for what it is, which appears to be the last-ditch effort of a failed nation state that used to be a global power, right? Trying to remain semi-relevant in today's world. Because we're not
I'm
what
worried.
we were.
No, and I'm worried. I'm very worried. I'm very worried that my family, my friends, I mean, I've got friends who were traumatized in Iraq and Afghanistan, right? And I've seen what that does to people.
Yeah. PTSD
And
and all that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I don't want to see more people, not just people that I love and care about, but I don't want to see anyone go through that. And I'm sickened to the core of the idea of civilians. Not just civilians, because let's face it, soldiers do have a choice. They just follow orders, and at the end of the day, maybe when it comes to, you know, killing one another, you need to stop dehumanizing one another and realize that person opposite you at the end of your gun is a mother, is a father, is a son, is a daughter.
Right. So the problem you have here is that if you're a soldier, dehumanizing the enemy is the best way of dealing with any conflict that you might have internally.
Oh, I get that.
So you won't do that.
that.
So you will dehumanize people, and that's why they do it.
But you got to remember, I'm a hippie.
Yeah, you
All
are.
right, I am.
Yeah, but
I am a hippie.
You got to remember that the people that, and generally, I mean, when you think back in Vietnam, the average age of the American GI was 19, right? So the people that are out doing wars are generally young. You don't get a lot of old people unless they're completely psychos that really want to go to war and go to fight. So it's
Well, a young mind is malleable.
But what you've got is a group of males that are pumped up on testosterone and been brainwashed into thinking that what they're doing is right. And that's basically what war is.
There's nothing more that I can say or do. I see it, I ignored it.
Yeah.
I just ignored it. Don't you worry about that. I saw it.
Yeah,
But
time servant in Call of Duty or Arma.
Modern Warfare. I remember when I took down those zombies.
Idiot. Adam's probably more accurate with going to school, and Corby was similar, yeah. Has anyone seen the movie Kess? We get shown this movie at school, right?
Right.
It's about a guy that has I think, I'm not sure if he steals a kestrel egg or he steals a kestrel chick or something, but he basically has a kestrel and he keeps it as a bird of prey, and it's his kestrel, and his brother or somebody kills it. But it is such a depressing movie. And I'm still trying to figure out what point they were trying to give us at school when they showed us this movie. It was so freaking depressing. How can you love it? It was such a depressing movie.
Spencer says Watership Down was more uplifting.
Watership Down was more uplifting. At least you got some decent soup out of it at the end.
So Vaughan says that film is bleak.
It is. Bleak is a cracking word. Actually, I'll give you that one. It is bleak. In fact, I think it was shot in black and white as well. But it is like, it just encapsulates the North.
Oh, I mean, Adam said, wasn't that Bo Selector?
No, just ignore Adam. He's talking shite.
No, but I actually get his reference. I think it's
No,
quite funny
I've never seen him.
and
because
witty.
I've never liked that crap kind of anal.
So the
base
character of Craig David, as in the piss take of actual Craig David, has a kestrel named Kes.
Okay.
That's what I'm just telling you what the reference is.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. I don't watch that crap. I just don't like that kind of stupid humour.
No, I mean, it was
Nothing
definitely. I honestly don't know how the man has remained relevant. He, he's
Was he ever relevant? Really?
well, he's got an audience. He's got an audience. Andrew says, Kes filmed on my doorstep. Ivy from Corrie was the mam.
The mum. I don't know
The
who
mum.
Ivy is.
I have no idea who
The
Ivy from
mum's
Corrie is
mother.
either.
For God's sake, Vaughn. Get a grip.
Oi, what's a mam? Mother. Is your mother, Vaughn? Oh. Ooh.
You what? What's up, mate? You done?
I'm shocked. I'm not done.
Okay, you're not done. Good.
Do I look done?
No, you look all right, actually. Let me see what.
I was going to say.
Let me see. I bookmarked a couple of things. Let me check my bookmarks and see what I've got in there to see if there's anything we can discuss. Well, I tell you what. Why? I need to make a little visit. Why don't you tell us about your little trip on Ratatouille and keep it clean?
Ha 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 ha! And you need to go.
I can't go
to the
full
other
screen
channel.
because we never did the full screen, did we? So,
That's fine.
So you just carry on. You can look at my lovely flags.
So if you look in the chat now, if you're watching live, you'll see a link to. It's a video on the other channel, but it's not that video. But I put a video out on the other channel riding the Ratatouille ride at Walt Disney Studios at Disneyland Paris and it's out on the TikTok as well. If you find Chasing Dissent Official on TikTok, if you're on there. And I told a story. I told a story about a true story about a man who, on the US version of the identical ride, it's a clone, pleasured himself whilst riding it, whilst smoking a cigarette. This actually happened last month. So he asks the ride staff, "Can I please ride alone?" And they're looking at one another, like, "Okay, you can, yeah, sure." He gets on, sparks up a cigarette, whacks up the porn on his mobile, and starts vigorously pleasuring himself. And it still bothers me. And the reason it bothers me is, go and watch the video. you can see. I'm telling it whilst riding the ride, so you can see what goes on in the ride. And what bothers me is, how could anybody find this arousing? It's one of the most harmless rides you could possibly go on. And I just don't understand it. I don't understand how anybody could find such a thing arousing. Now, spoiler alert, he is a sex offender. He's a wanted sex offender in multiple states. So he is a little bit messed up. A little bit messed up. But still, I'm baffled. I am just baffled. You tell me. Trudy said because he's and got a thrill knowing kids were on the rides. Well, perhaps, but he rode it alone. He wanted to do it alone. Vaughan says nothing wrong with that. Oh God. Oh God, Vaughan. Vaughan. I don't even know how to respond to that, Vaughan. I really don't. Spencer says I'm crying.
Are you back? I'm back. What?
He is back.
Are you finished?
Yeah, I still don't quite understand what made a person go on that ride in particular and go, I know.
Get a rat fetish.
Well, either that, because like I just said, he is a wanted sex offender in multiple states.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Maybe
he's obviously already.
Maybe he just
he's already coming from the point of messed up.
Yeah, well, maybe just, when you've got to, No.
John, I can't say I do.
No, I can't either, mate. I'm just trying to make excuses for something that I don't. What was I going to say? Frankie. Yes, nice to see you too.
Nice to see you, Frankie. Nice to see you.
Nice.
There we go. He did it. And that right there is our tribute to Bruce.
So,
he always weirded me out a bit, old Bruce Forsyth.
Should things go awry here, right? I'll let you know. I'll let you into secret. So, one of the reasons as well that we wanted to get out of this place is the fact that the fitness studio has always been a bit damp. In fact, it got that bad that our laminate floor had to be torn up and thrown out because it just.
Oh.
It was rank. You actually jumped on the floor and water would spurt up.
That's bad, man.
Yeah, that was bad. So anyway, I had big panels on the back wall that were 8x4 plywood panels, and it looks really nice. But we took them down because we thought we'll take that plywood with us because we can reuse it. So we took the plywood off the wall, and oh my God. Black fungal spores behind it.
Oh. And you're living in that?
Yeah, I know. It's downstairs, mate. It's in the other unit, but even so, there's no doors there now because we took the doors away as well and put them in the new gym. We've taken that. The place is I'll tell you what, I'll give you a video tour of the place at some point because it's like...
Yeah, please do.
Looks like it's been hit by a bomb. But yeah, it's black fungal spores, and I'm saying to Andy, this is like The Last of Us. This is how it starts. I could be patient zero.
Oh look, you've actually agreed with Adam on something. You and Adam have actually agreed.
We have, yeah.
Hell has frozen over. Pigs are flying. John and Adam have agreed. It's happened, folks. And do you know what I'm not finding agreeable?
What's up, Ben? What are you not finding agreeable? Oh. 18 watchers? You don't like that? You don't like that? Or
no,
is it the fact you like the 18 watchers?
But I don't like the fact that they're not liking. Don't make me get the boys.
Oh,
I've met some new ones.
Problem. That's not good.
I've met some new ones. I've met some, and they're French.
New boys.
They've got big hats.
They're
French.
The French
They've got
ones.
big hats, and they wouldn't let me in a train station.
Was it the army or was it the Gendarmerie Nationale?
It was the army.
Army? Bloody hell.
Mm.
I wonder
It
what
was
the
the
hell's
army.
going on then.
I think they were having some kind of training exercise.
But that's
what I
that's
think.
not acceptable. But see, this is France. France isn't what it purports to be, is it? It's not really a federal republic. It's
Not
a bit
really.
of a dictatorship. Especially when your
Yeah.
old macaroon there just makes laws up and pushes them through without putting them to the vote. That's just not
Yep.
on.
Oh no, but that is France for you.
Yeah, it's
You know
not
what?
right. It's not right.
Me getting the bat out has pushed 2 people to press that button.
Well,
John,
that's good. That's good, mate.
do you have the baton?
The baton is still here.
Well, maybe you can push 2 more.
The baton.
Trudy says the Diana episode with Ed was brilliant. Got the book. She did get the book. I did see
Yeah.
that.
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah, it was.
I meant to send. I've got to send. What's her name? What's that young lady's name that never comes on the shows anymore? That wee Irish leprechaun one.
Shalini.
Yes. Yeah, I knew her name. Yeah, I was supposed to send her the links. I better send them to Vaughn.
Have you sent her any pictures of your dog lately?
Sent them to Vaughn. I don't have any. I don't have Shalini's number.
So you send Vaughan pictures of your dogs.
Mm-hmm.
That you send a Cockney pictures of your dogs.
Yeah, so she can forward them on to Shalini.
Yeah, you think that's what he's doing?
There you go. Vaughn's ordered on the book already. There you go. See,
Oh,
he's
look
a
at
good
that!
guy. He's a nice guy, isn't he? He's not.
Frankie
what
says-
they say about.
Frankie says I already gave you a like, so don't send the boys. You're in the clear then, Frankie. You're in the clear.
Well, you're all right. You're all right.
Yeah, you're in the clear. You're in the clear.
The boys
Don't
will
worry.
only come to those that require it.
Yep.
Right. Here's a good one. Here's a good one. So
Go on then.
you know how I used to bang on about smart meters and things not being in your best interest, because if you ever get anything for free for the government, it's never in your best interest.
Well, it never is. No, it's
Yeah.
not free, and it's not in your best interest.
So Germany, from 2024, network operators will be allowed to limit electricity without the consent of the customers.
Oh my God! Who could ever have seen such a thing coming?
Good
Who could have?
grief! Imagine that.
Who could have ever seen this coming? This is the same Germany that recently turned off all of their nuclear power for no reason, right?
Yeah. Oh, do you see what Bill
Yeah.
Gates wants to do? Speaking about nuclear power.
Yeah. What does the school punch bag want to do?
He wants to build nuclear power stations in Britain.
Are
He
you
wants to
telling me
build
he's
those
actually
nuclear-
saying? You telling me he's actually saying something sensible?
Well, that's quite sensible. Yeah.
I just need a minute.
But you know what?
I just need a minute.
You know what? Not everybody's wrong all the time.
A broken clock is right twice a day, ladies and gentlemen.
If it's an analog clock.
Mm.
If it's a digital clock, it just doesn't display, so it's never right.
Well, yeah, that's true. Unless, of course, you think of time as an infinite abyss.
That's true.
And then, well, no, because like I said, unless, of course, you look at time as an infinite abyss. And therefore, looking at that black screen is like looking into the infinite abyss of nothingness.
Well, but should you look at time as like a sliced loaf?
Oh, yeah, go on then. Go on then. Take it. Take
Well-
me to Flavor Town, baby.
So time is like it. Time just stretches out, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And if you cut through the loaf at one point, that's where you are right now. But you continually slice the loaf, and that's your present. But the loaf doesn't disappear once you've left it. Does it? You get some weird conversations in this show. You've got to admit.
Did you know?
Go on.
Did you know that if you vape on TikTok, you get banned?
Really?
So if you're on your stream and you vape or smoke, they ban you.
Well, don't do it then.
I didn't know that,
Oh.
but they didn't. But I did manage to get away with it because when I streamed, I faced the camera away from me. So I faced the camera outwards.
You better not do it then if you're gonna do.
Well,
that.
I won't. I will not vape on TikTok. But what kind of rule is that?
Well,
if you're sitting in your own home.
That's a Chinese type rule, isn't it?
What kind of rule is that?
Well, because you could be encouraging people to vape.
Yeah, but you can sit there and get pissed.
Oh, well, see, that'll be next. Can you have sex on TikTok?
I hope not. I mean, let me rephrase that. I hope you can't unless it's behind an age gate, because I actually believe that anybody should be able to broadcast. You know, if it's legal, they should be able to broadcast it. But I'm not against people creating their own pornography or whatever. I don't care. That's why when people call OnlyFans immoral, I'm like, I've got one, baby. I've got one. Do not care. I do have an OnlyFans, by the way, but it's for Lego people. That's right, Lego people. So,
hold on. TikTok doesn't have a 30-second limit, Spencer.
No, it doesn't. You can put 10-minute videos up to TikTok, and you can go live.
So you could have sex. 2 or 3 minutes would be enough for me.
Any man that says he can last longer than 6 is probably lying. Oh, I can go all night. Can you fuck? Sorry, that was a well-placed F-bomb. Sometimes you need them.
What's with the flag's pole? What flag's pole? There is no flag's pole.
Look. Oh, the pole, as in the pole.
Yeah.
What's with the flag's pole?
What's with the flag's pole? It was just to see if you liked my flags or not. That was all.
Because you put flages.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, for God's sake! You crucify me now. I made an error. Yeah. Okay. I made an error. Oh, jeez. So. It's like if I refer you to, can I refer you to my Twitter profile?
Yeah.
Which says, don't pull me up for grammar or spelling mistakes, because I don't give a bleep.
But clearly, from the way you've just reacted, you do.
No, I don't. I just get pissed off when people point out. But anyway, so man. What is... hold on, but Frankie's made an error here then, possibly. Frankie, are you referring to the poll that the flags are on, which is what you've written?
No.
Or are you referring to the poll, which should have been written POLL?
So now you've just told people not to do it to you. Now you're doing it to people.
Well, yeah, I am. Yeah. Well,
oh my God! It's 10:30 and it's Shalini.
What's wrong with the American flag? Nothing
wrong with the American flag.
I just started to throw it up there. There's 2 flags there. You've got your good old Union flag. And you've got your American flag. What's the problem? They go well together.
I think he's right. Shalini says, "I'm back from the Heritage Party social." Oh yeah, Shalini went to the boozer with David Curtin tonight.
Okay.
Just pointing that out. She went to the boozer with David Curtin.
She's drunk. Oh, Vaughn's gonna be called upon to perform.
He's at home tonight.
Oh no.
He wasn't there.
Oh, that's no good.
That is no good. I mean, Frankie, isn't it his party?
Frankie wasn't here earlier, was? Well, I don't know. Is that he, she, whatever? I don't know. But anyway, I'm not gonna...
No, Frankie was not here earlier when you said you've got a Scottish flag. Yeah. Actually, they don't know that. It was me and you talking about that before the show.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell them?
I've got a Scottish flag.
And I said to John, what you need to do is put that Scottish flag up, but print out a picture of Nicola Sturgeon's face and stick it right in the middle of it. And what did you say? You said no.
Oh, no.
No.
I'm not going to do that. Going to put Hamza in the middle of it.
Oh, Shalini says train strikes. There are train strikes on at the moment, and that's why when I go into a certain city tomorrow, I'm driving. And I said to you, John, and I will maintain this, I am never getting the Eurostar to Paris again.
Right.
I'm not doing it.
What was it not?
I'm not doing it.
What was wrong?
I prefer driving. I prefer driving because I can do it at my own leisure. Right? If I need to stop, I can stop. I can play whatever music I want. I can take whoever I don't want to with me, and we can have a laugh and chat shit in the car. And it doesn't. It's just not. It's so much better, and there's no real difference in time. In fact, I would say it's probably a bit quicker to drive there from here than it is to go up to London on the train, wait for a Eurostar, get on the Eurostar. So, yeah. I'm not doing it again. I will fly. I do like flying over there. I will do that.
Yeah, it's not. It's quicker to fly to Paris than it is to fly to Glasgow.
Yeah, I mean, it takes I think it's about 32, 33 minutes from Gatwick to Paris.
Yeah.
It's not. It don't take long.
Yeah,
it's
about
good fun.
55 minutes from London to Glasgow.
Yeah. Well,
just enough to get a gin and tonic.
I should probably fly up there at some point and come say hello. But I mean, it seems like an idea.
Well, if we get if Hamza gets toughed out or something like that, we could do something.
Oh yeah, if Hamza gets turfed out, I'm coming up.
Yeah. Speaking of Hamza, what's the latest to come out of the Scottish nonce party? You know what they're going to do with the ferry company that's building the ferry?
Oh no, what are they doing with the ferries?
Ferguson Marine, the company that they nationalised because it was going to go broke and lose all those jobs, and then they nationalised it and took over it so they could build the ferries as well with public money, which has now cost like 4 times what the original cost was. So it's like 400 million now instead of 97.
I have something to say about the SMP in a minute, actually.
So what are they doing? They're going to put it back in private ownership.
Well, that doesn't shock me.
So
that doesn't shock me.
What are they laundering money? Because that's what it sounds like.
Or they can palm it off, and then when it all goes tits up and goes bust, they can say, "Not our fault." Private company.
Yeah, private company. Yeah,
private company. One last. But also, I am pleased to announce that the Scottish National Party have finally found some auditors. They have finally found some auditors.
Well done.
They had to look as far afield as Manchester to find their auditors. Because no one in Scotland would touch them. But they found some auditors.
That's sad. Oh, dear.
They've had to cross the wall, John. They've had to cross the border, come down to Manchester and go find some dirty English bastards in order to get themselves audited, but they've got one.
Mancunian, I think you'll find the word as Mancunian.
Yeah, but they're still English.
And you're swearing again.
They're not.
Stop swearing.
Bastards is not a swear word.
Yes, it is.
It's a descriptive word, meaning a child born out of wedlock.
Yeah, indeed, yeah.
I do not see it as a swear word. I never have done. But if YT do, I'm sorry.
It depends on context, doesn't it? And you can't use it in the context you just used it because you don't know if they are or not.
They're Mancunian.
That's a joke! You've just slandered a whole city.
That's a joke!
You poor people of Mancunia.
I made a joke. Have you been there, John?
Manchester? Yeah.
Yeah. I went there once.
Yeah. Why?
I'm not going back.
Why would you want to go? So, remember we were talking about Antarctica, right? Here's another story from Antarctica. Scientist in remote Antarctic outpost stabs his colleague who continually told him the endings of books he was reading. That's like something out of Still Game or Chewing the Fat. Gotta no do that. How? Just gotta no do that. I think that's quite apt. Right, here's another one for you then. Japanese husband has gone 20 years without speaking to his wife since she replied to his knock knock joke, right? So you say knock knock.
Who's there?
No, you
Knock, knock.
say knock knock.
Knock knock.
Come in. So she replied, come in, and he has not spoke to her since. 20
Do you know what that is?
years. 20, that's
know-
commitment.
That's determination.
Yeah, that sir is stubborn.
In fact, get his details. I want to send him an award.
Yeah, that's a cracker, isn't it?
I want to send him an award.
Yeah, the guy's, I mean, 20 years. That's ridiculous. Oh, but hey, you got to give him points for that.
So I saw an article, right, and this is a little bit edgy, a little bit risque. I saw an article earlier on that a man is suing a pleasurable toys company, shall we say?
Oh,
right?
the MRI thing. Is that real?
So
is it real?
I think so. I think it could.
How could anyone survive that?
Well, it says that he had massive internal damage.
Yeah, but he survived it apparently.
Yeah. But
if
it is true,
so it's gone from his anus to his chest cavity.
Yeah, because
So right. So the mind beggars. Well, I tell you what. Give the people the overview, right?
well, let me just find the story proper.
Well,
Let
I can give you the overview. I've read it as well. So the overview is the guy goes for an MRI. Okay, which is fair enough. Do you have any metal objects on you? No, because he'd selected maybe a comforter or whatever you would call it, and he'd made points to make sure that it was completely made of silicon. And he inserted this comforter into his anus.
Yeah,
He went for his MRI and found out there was actually a metal core to this device.
So let
it was then driven through his internal cavity into his chest cavity at more or less the speed of sound, because the.
So let me give you an update on what fact-checking website Snopes says about this story.
All right, what's Snop saying?
They don't know. They just don't know if it's real.
Right. Okay.
So it could be real, it could not, but still, it was certainly a. I mean, the idea of that happening. Just the idea of that happening.
Well, you know what? First of all, if you did do something stupid enough, why? Right, the mind boggles. Why would you go for an MRI with that inserted?
Oh, people have done far, far, far crazy things, like pleasuring themselves on a rat ride.
This is a medical procedure. Have you had an MRI?
Several.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're very particular about making sure you don't have any metal on you. Yeah?
Yes, they are.
Because they even ask you if you've ever had a metal splinter in your eye.
Yeah.
Because if it pulls one of them out, you're going to lose an eye.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is a massive magnetic field.
It is. It is. It is certainly it's a loud machine as well.
Oh,
It's
it's
such a
like
loud
bang,
machine.
bang, bang. But at
Oh
least,
yeah,
well, I don't know what yours was like, but you get to select your music.
you do. You do get to select your music.
Although they play it through. Do you remember when you used to go on airplanes and it used to be an air system?
Mm-hmm.
So you'd plug your headphones in. They weren't electrical headphones; they were the earbuds basically. So you plugged a tube into your ear, and the air would move in the tube, which would give you the sound. That's how an MRI headphone system works as well. So it's pretty poor fidelity.
I mean, it is, and it's completely pointless. It is completely pointless. You might as well just, I don't know. You might as well not have them in. In fact, it's probably more of an inconvenience than not having them in, because you can still just hear the bang, 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 bang. Then you're trying to listen to Beethoven or Mozart or Bach, and can't.
The best thing, I had an MRI once. Well, I've had a couple, but I had one that I had to go and hit. One I had to go in leg first, because it was my knee, which was quite good because your head's still out the machine, so you're actually all right. The ones where you go in head first are quite claustrophobic.
Yes, very.
But I fell asleep.
See, I was fine. Because I'm a sleep in the dark kind of guy. You know, I prefer dark to light. Tight spaces don't bother me. So I was fine in the MRI, but I know people really do freak out in there.
Yeah.
It is. Trudy says my doc had to remove 2 piercings. I had to have an emergency MRI, then surgery. I'm not saying any more.
Okay. We won't pry.
2 piercings.
Right, where was I? So, Pakistan. Let's go to Pakistan. So, America's failed coup appears to have failed. I've said that twice, I know, but
Big. America's attempted coup.
America's attempted coup appears to have failed because the Supreme Court of Pakistan has ordered Imran Khan released.
Yes, they have. Yes, they have. They have been. He has been ordered. I know that.
So,
Trudy.
Yet again, we have America interfering in another sovereign nation's affairs. Why? Because
that's what America do.
America world police.
Team America
world police.
And this is where the old speckled hen has gone to John's head.
Indeed,
I repeat.
I haven't had a drink since you left for the continent.
What are you trying to tell me? That
I've been sober when you've been away. I've been pining for the fjord.
I was going to say, is this it? Is this now it? You're teetotal until I come on a show with you, and then you're like, oh dear, it's time. I've got to have a drink.
I've got to have a drink. Got to deal with.
I've got to have a drink.
Yeah.
Got to have a drink. Oh dear. I didn't even have a drink in France. I didn't. I was gonna have some wine, but I couldn't get into Paris. I was gonna have wine in Paris. That was my plan.
Pants.
It was pants.
That is pants.
It was pants. Shalene says, "Boo was in spoons. Brewdog have a pale ale. It was nice."
Whoa! I will not drink. I will not touch a Brewdog drink again ever.
Is that because of them offering their places out as a thing?
Yes.
And I won't say
yes,
anymore.
Absolutely. They were absolute scum. I will never drink Brewdog shit again. Never. I wouldn't go near them if it was the last drink on earth. I hate them with a vengeance. And they shall not partake of their custom. They shall not partake of my custom.
Well, most alcohol companies don't partake of my custom, but no, I am pleased to say that I have never consumed a Brewdog beverage. Never. Yeah. So it's not even like they won't get my custom again. I've never had one, and I never will.
Indeed. I hate what will. Would that aid Wales today?
Cellini says it was the only decent beer in the spoons I was thinking.
No,
You know
no,
what?
it's Brewdog. It's not decent. Brewdog's crap.
I quite like a blonde beer. Have you ever tried 1664 Blanc?
Yes, I have.
It's bloody lovely.
I lived in France, for God's sake.
Yeah, bloody lovely. Bloody lovely beer.
Says 64. That's what you
So,
asked for.
Vaughan,
Says 64.
so Vaughan says some spoons have some nice ales. They do. They do have some quite nice
Is this
ales.
Wetherspoons?
Actually. Yeah, Wetherspoons.
Yeah, Wetherspoons. Yeah, they usually have some proper real ale on, yeah. Yeah, but
yeah,
not
I just did.
Brewdog's not proper
you know, I
real ale.
just did.
I see. This is where I sometimes lose the faith of my Scottish brethren, because I quite like English beer.
Well, some English ales are lovely.
Yeah, no, I think very many English ales are lovely, and not just some. There are very, very many, and I've actually been to like the Black Sheep Brewery. I've been on the tour. I've been to there's another one I've been to down Durham way as well. So I've been to quite a few. I've been to a few breweries in England, and their ales are really lovely, and I appreciate the art of the brewer in England, and they do come up with some bloody good drinks.
I tell you what, there's a little pub up near Alton Towers.
Yeah.
Who sell? They're the only pub that sell a couple of ales named after the Alton Towers rides.
Mm-hmm.
They're particular. Like one of them's called Nemesis, one of them's called Oblivion.
Right.
And they're really good.
Yeah.
They're really, really good.
I went to when I was on the way back from our trip, after we'd been to Alton Towers.
Yeah.
I stopped at a pub in the middle of nowhere, and
as you do,
parked up in his car park, went in and asked the landlord if I could stay the night, and he said, yes, you can stay the night, no problem, in my car park. And I said, well, it's only fair that then I should partake of some of your ale. So I had 3 or 4 pints and then retired to my abode, which I think is fair.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's absolutely that's reasonable.
Brewdog is Scottish, yes. Brewdog is Scottish fun. Don't touch it. It's like dog poop.
And they tried to tell you that drinking Brewdog is punk rock. It's punk to drink. No, it's not.
No, they're just selling you they're just trying to sell you a brand, basically, aren't they?
They're selling you an image.
Yeah, it's a bit like Bud Light.
Do you know what? I was in Tesco's earlier today, and they have a reduced alcohol section where all the alcohol that's got slightly bashed up gets sold at quite a reduced rate.
So you're not allowed to do that in Scotland.
Well, anyway,
Scotland's becoming like some of our European countries. Like Sweden. I love
you can't
Sweden.
buy alcohol in a supermarket.
I love Sweden. You can buy alcohol in a supermarket, right?
Well, low
yeah,
percentage
but it's
alcohol,
got to be below 3.5% or something like that for beer, which basically means it's not really beer. It's just like carling. But apart from that, you've got to go to the government, not the government approved, the government run alcohol store, right? To buy alcohol in Sweden. And that's why people in Sweden they hire vans for the weekend and go to Germany.
Of course they do, because it's a hell of a lot cheaper.
It's like 18 pence a can in Germany for like 6% beer that tastes brilliant, right? And I mean, when we went on our trip to Sweden, we stopped in Germany on the way up and loaded the back of the van up with beer.
I know you did, I remember.
In fact, I was still finding cans of beer when I got back to England.
I remember. You know what?
Yeah.
By the time I got back to England on Wednesday night, I only had 2 cans of vanilla Coke left.
Yeah.
On Sunday evening, I had purchased 30.
Oh my God, Ben, that's ridiculous.
I didn't drink them all, to be fair. I did share them.
Thank goodness.
To be fair.
Well, yeah, right.
But
Sorry.
I went back in the supermarket Wednesday afternoon because the plan was to buy a pallet with 4 packs on it, put it on the footrest of my scooter, and just use it as the floor on my scooter. And then realised they were sold out because I bought them all the other day.
Oh my god, that's crazy. So I want to go back to home brewing in Germany is limited. Yes, militant mushroom. Yes, it may well be because the German beer purity laws are very, very strict.
Mm.
And that's I've got to give them a little bit of kudos here because German beer is fantastically good because you can get off your head on it and really not have that much of a hangover the next day because it doesn't have a lot of toxins in it.
The more you learn, the more you know.
Indeed. And you learn the whole cornucopia of things here on this show.
You will. And on that note, I think it might be time to start bringing this show to its logical conclusion.
Do you? Do you think so?
I think I do, because I've got to go and sleep.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Let's
should we talk a little about Trump before we go?
Trump's town hall.
Yeah, should we? You watched
so
it.
Did you?
I
did.
You did.
Did you know that CNN cut it short by 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Because he was walking all over Caitlin Collins.
I heard.
Now, first of all,
well, a lot of people said that why would you interview someone like that with a stack of his supporters around him because you're just going to get run over anyway.
No, so first of all, I want to really criticize CNN for what they did. And obviously this was a setup. The whole thing was a setup. But the idea of a town hall is that people, the audience, ask you questions, you answer it, and then the moderator is on stage to keep you on track and answering the correct questions. That's the idea. That's what a town hall is meant to be. Right? The moderator's position is to simply get the people up who want to ask the questions and maybe push a little bit deeper on the issue to get to the core of what the candidate thinks on that issue. That's not what this was.
Oh.
This was Caitlin Collins, the CNN woman who's obviously going for a primetime anchor slot, debating Donald Trump on stage, calling him a liar, live fact-checking him. What have you got there?
I have Rig Welter.
There you go. But
from the Black
Sheep calling him a liar on stage, like Militant Mushroom says, it sounds more like a trial from the mod rather than a town hall. It was like a trial by media. She was, and when she was fact-checking him on several occasions, she was objectively wrong. Yet she's calling him a liar when what he was saying was ostensibly true. And I mean, at one point, he smirked when she asked him a question and pulled a piece of paper out of his coat and went, "Let's check the timings on what you're suggesting, shall we?" It was to do with, she said that he waited, I think it was 4 hours after the Capitol riots on Jan 6th.
Yeah.
To tweet people saying, or suggest that people should stop or not be peaceful. He's like, oh, look, 2 days before, I said, support our law enforcement, support our police, and be peaceful when protesting.
Yeah.
Oh, look, here's another one.
This probably isn't a point we want to labour on this channel.
No, we're not going to labour. I'm just telling you how, CNN, they obviously came with an agenda.
Yeah, and they were wrong.
They were wrong on several occasions. I mean, Byron Donalds, who was on one of the oversight committees, was in the CNN studio and went, I was on the oversight committee to what she's talking about. She's wrong. Yeah. She's not right. Yeah. So it just seemed like.
So what was CNN trying to achieve here? Because were they going for views, right? Because they would have got views because it was Trump, right? But what were they trying to achieve by trying to prove him wrong when he obviously had the he had the evidence and the wherewithal to beat them at their own game.
Well, and what did they expect? Every time they come up against this man, he pushes straight back against them.
Yeah, I know.
I think what they were trying to achieve was they were trying to flat out destroy his 2024 run. They were trying to make him look so bad that it would be completely unelectable, and it totally backfired on them to the point they pulled it 20 minutes early, a live broadcast, because she was embarrassing herself that much.
Yeah.
And she was embarrassing. I can tell you now, I don't think after that performance, Caitlin Collins is getting a primetime show. I don't.
Yeah.
It's well worth, if you, I mean, just go watch, in fact, don't even watch the actual broadcast of it. Watch Tim Paul's live Timcast IRL with Carpe Donktum. They watched it live and they commented on it. And it was just insane. It's one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen in my life. And it's definitely something they wouldn't do to Joe Biden.
Indeed.
Indeed.
Did you see
So,
Kamala Harris's last performance?
no.
She made there was a video going around of her last speech, and it was very bizarre. She was doing an awful lot of giggling. It was really strange. It's as if she's on some kind of drug, believe it or not.
Well, who knows? Who
I
knows?
don't understand that woman. She's just like, I mean, Joe's incoherent at best, right?
Mm-hmm.
But she's
Maybe it's rubbing off on her.
She's like a clanger. You've no
I was
idea
saying maybe
what she's
it's rubbing
talking
off on
about.
her.
Sorry?
You spend so much time with someone, you start to pick up their traits. I tell you what, if she starts wandering off during performances, she just starts wandering off.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Anything else from the troll room? Anything you'd like us to discuss before we go?
I think that they might well have had enough of us, and they're going to get more of me, at least in voice, tomorrow from midday. Tomorrow from midday, right here on youtube.com/Chasing Dissent Official. There may also be a second stream directly on my Twitter account at Disabled Journo, but I haven't decided on that yet. We'll see what happens with the first one before I make any decisions about what I'm going to do with the second one. But yeah, you will see us, me and the Cockney geezer, Mr. Vaughan. We will be live at around midday tomorrow, right here. So
Cool.
Look forward to that.
I do look forward to that.
I look forward to it as well. I'm gonna have fun.
Yeah. Cool.
I'm gonna have fun.
So.
Julie says the time has flown tonight. I think it has as well. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. It always does though. Do you not find it always does with us?
I do. And
Do you
and
not
he
find
only
that?
took.
Do you find that?
And he only took one break.
Yeah, well, actually, if you've noticed, I've not really been taking breaks at all recently. And I think
He's been
it's
training
only
his
because
bladder,
I'm...
ladies and gentlemen.
Sorry?
He's been training his bladder. He's been doing
Yeah, I have been
pelvic
but
floor
I think I'm out of
exercises.
training because obviously we've not had a show all week because you went away and left me.
John,
Ben.
the world calls me and I must answer.
Yeah. Trouble. Then she leave me. Right.
On that note,
With that.
ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls,
Oh, he's putting
children of all ages.
putting his Timmy Mallet hat on.
Should I wear this tomorrow?
No. Why
I'm going to the capital.
Why would you wear that?
Because I'm going to the capital. Show my patriotism.
But you're not a patriot, are you? I think my
We don't have to
look,
tell them
I
that.
think my flags look fantastic. I think they look really
I
good.
do.
And the poll
Apparently.
did generally agree. There was only, I think it was only one or two people said no.
See, I told you to put them together like that.
Yeah, you know, you were right, Ben. You were right. I'll give you that.
Generally am.
Don't know what to do with the other two, though.
We'll work that out
Yeah.
when we move
okay.
you into the other room.
Right. Okay.
Oh, I had steak at dinner time as well. Enjoy.
Steak time for me. It's a bit late for dinner, but anyway. you
They always
enjoy.
have dinner at this time. Remember, we get on the game with them at 11 o'clock and they're
That's
cooking
It's
dinner.
very late to have dinner. When do you go to bed?
Yeah, well.
When do you sleep?
Vaughan says you would look like a tourist. I am a tourist.
Yeah, of course he's a tourist.
I don't live in London. I don't live in London.
Well, look at the
I'm
colour
a
of him.
tourist.
He can't live in London. Look at the colour of him.
Right, on that note, it's time to go. John's had a few libations and we need to keep it PG.
Yeah, of course we do. So
Or PC, shall we say.
yeah. So is there anything you want to say before I give it the wind up?
Yeah, I want to say I love you. Big love to all. And if you've not done it yet, go in the chat and subscribe to the other channel. I'm just putting the link in there once again. It's free to do. And you can see that video on the Ratatouille rides. You can go over there and go and check that video
Go watch
out.
the Ratatouille one. Let us
It's
know what
quite
you
funny.
think.
It's
So
cracker.
with that, I'd like to thank you one and all for attending this Chasing Dissent Live. All in on Friday night, episode 31. So
31.
31, yeah. So
41.
it's been great.
For you!
Welcome to my party, we're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare starring. Hand me a drink cause I think I'm going all in. Get me a shrink who can catch me when I'm falling. Cover up my scars, flip the handlebars, crashing in my car, wake up in a bar. I'll be a superstar, just on my avatar. This world is so bizarre, empty out the reservoir. Yeah, I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get on safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get on safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? Sometimes you need to let loose, grab juice, get goose, tattoos, taboos, get screwed. Loosen up, buttercup, all those hate comments will never make you feel enough. We're all adequate graduates, hearts full of calluses, but we know calculus. Damn, ain't that fabulous? Can't wait to apply all those mathematicus. But we can't get a job that pays us enough. I'm about to pop up. Fuck you, you're lost. We all know that we never really want a boss. So I'ma do what I want to, something I can't undo. Yeah, I'ma do what I want to, something I can't undo. I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get on safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get on safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me?